There we go. Okay, so as a recording now, mate, there's back on and we're up and running. So there we go. A few technical issues, so we'll get that all sorted out. But yes, and you made me a beautiful sign. It totally isn't my handwriting.
Looks like your handwriting.
Maybe it is. But, how mad is it though that we literally put together? We just decided, let's just do a podcast. We've been talking about it for months, and we finally thought we've got loads of time. Let's do one. We'll put it online, expecting like 4 people to watch it.
Yeah.
Nearly 150 folk watched it.
50 people watched it. I'm genuinely staggered.
It just shows how bored everyone is with this lockdown. That people are willing to sit.
That's clearly what it is. Clearly what it is.
There's no lives.
Anyway,
they can't do anything. They're watching
important
it.
Things.
Yes.
Khabib Ferguson is off for the 5th time.
I know.
What
do you know what?
The name of the baby Jesus.
I know. I genuinely, joking aside, I genuinely think that fight might now be cursed. It's just...
You can't make that, but they cannot make that. Doesn't matter what happens now, they can't make that fight.
Nah.
They cannot make that fight, man. That's 5 times, like twice you'd say. 5 times. It's like, and every single time it's been a different issue. A different issue. Crazy, so... do
you know, like this time though was weird because like Khabib was in the States training at AKA and then flew back to Dagestan because he wasn't sure when the card was going to go ahead, even though everyone in the MMA world knew when it was going ahead. And he was like, it was getting difficult doing a fight camp because of the lockdown and blah, 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 so I'll just fly back to Dagestan.
Is this your conspiracy hat going on already?
No, not at all. Genuinely not. Just more... Do you not think it's... Back. What was that?
3 minutes in and you're getting conspiratorial.
Yeah, totally.
But no, it is one of those things. So it is staggering. Why did he leave America? Why did he
I don't know.
It's crazy. But you know what? It's almost at the stage now where I don't want to see it.
See, you do want to see it, but you also think I can't get built up for that again.
There's only so many times a young man can have his heart broken.
No, 100%, absolutely. It is. It's every other time it's on, and then literally within days, weeks, whatever.
Do we know where the card's going to be?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what's going ahead now because it was still going to be inside a closed arena.
Yeah, I think. I'm sure Dana said like they were talking about the United Arab Emirates someplace, whether it was Dubai or Abu Dhabi. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know how you get all the fighters and staff, cornermen, blah 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 blah. I don't know how you get all those people into another country. It would have to be America. Like I don't know if there's is there any weird loopholes that you know of, like for an Indian reservation or?
Not that I know of. They were talking about when Khabib went back to Dagestan. Apparently, the Russian authorities came out and said we are allowing private flights, chartered flights. So everyone's like, "Oh, get Khabib in a private jet, get him back," and he was like, "I'm not willing to do it." He just refused to leave Dagestan with everything that was going on because he was then worried about if they then shut the borders, how does he get back to Dagestan and his family, which you can understand.
I've seen his post because Ramsey told me about it earlier on, and I went and looked at his post. It kind of makes sense. So there's two ways to think about it. So one of them, you look at it, you go, it makes sense because what he's saying is right. You know, listen, this is a time where a lot of people are ill, a lot of people are dying, unfortunately, and there's so many other. This is all nonsense, and the most important thing right now is for people to be healthy and safe and all that kind of stuff, which is what everybody wants. But the other part of it is there's nothing else going on in the world. If there was a great fight on, that would be so amazing. Like it would give so many people some positivity and something to look forward to and some excitement, and that's equally as good. So I don't know. Like I'm on the fence with that. I don't know. It seems a little weird that Khabib would go back to Russia, Dagestan, when the fight was still effectively on. The fight wasn't cancelled.
No.
I don't know, but the good thing is, I know that Justin Gaethje said maybe that he would take it. Connor's also saying he'll take it.
Aye.
Whether Connor could cut weight, I don't know what weight he is. I don't know what weight he sits at.
Yeah, they might make it like a catch weight, and just let them fight. Do you know what I mean? Like if they're within 15 pounds of each other or whatever. As you say, I don't know what weight, condition, what shape anyone's in.
That's a no-lose situation for Connor, because kind of in the same respect as like when Bisping fought for the title and he came on what was it, like a week's notice, and Nate fought Connor on 10 days notice or something. On such short notice, nobody's really expecting you to win. So if you win, it's incredible. So Connor was to come in and beat Tony on like 3 weeks notice, not even that now, is it? 2 weeks notice. That'd be incredible. If Connor loses to Tony, he can say, well, I wasn't even fighting. I wasn't training for that. I wasn't fighting for him. So he can't lose out of the situation. It's one of those situations where it's a no-lose. And I think, again, I agree, there's a lot of bad things going on in the world just now. There's always bad things going on in the world, in fairness. This is bad. But the world could be doing with some excitement, some joy. And I think that's what it would bring. I think it would have to be obviously be in a arena, which is not great, but if they could have found a way to make it happen, it would have been pretty cool. But
yeah. Have you seen what the WWE are doing with WrestleMania this weekend?
I didn't. No, I don't. You're the wrestling guy.
Yeah, I know. They're still going ahead with WrestleMania, and it was supposed to be I can't remember what stadium it was meant to be, like a big 70,000 seater stadium, and it got shut. So Vince McMahon decided that he would continue with Mania, but he would put it in the Performance Center, which is the WWE's gym, basically, where all the guys train. No crowd, spread over 2 nights, and still put it on pay-per-view.
What are they going to test? Are they going to test everybody that's coming into the arena?
Well, that's what everyone's saying, are they? Because obviously all the wrestlers are going to have to be there, all the ring crew, like cameramen, all the infrastructure is going to be there. There's just going to be no fans. So yeah, I presume they have been testing wrestlers in the run up to Mania this weekend. But it's going to be weird that wrestling of any sport is a performance. Do you know what I mean? It's sports entertainment, and you're going to be wrestling in essentially a gym with no fans. So. Like there's going to be no atmosphere, nothing. It's like it'd be like doing like stand-up comedians doing a stand-up show with no audience. So they're telling jokes and no one's laughing, and you're just hoping people laugh.
That sounds like my life.
Well, no, trust us, laughing at you. We're definitely we're laughing at you, not with you. But it's supposed to be the same because the UFC would go ahead in a closed arena. So where's the excitement? It would just be weird watching it with no crowd, because you always associate sports of any type or athletic events of any type with some form of a crowd.
I know that they said that about, the Joshua Pulev fight was supposed to be June, which is now moved back to July. I don't know why they've moved it back a month. Like that's going to make any difference. But yeah, Eddie Herman said that. He said, you can't have an anti-Joshua fight with no crowd.
No.
That's... Yeah, I mean, but then a few other people made a good point. So the guys who are on like the bottom tier of the undercard, like the UFC, the WrestleMania is different, but on the UFC, the very first match, there probably wouldn't be anybody there anyway.
No,
people would come to a little bit later on. So the very first fight, people aren't there anyway. So I think in terms of getting people some entertainment, something to look forward to at the minute, because a lot of people are just fed up, bored, nothing. Holidays cancelled, can't do this, can't do that. We can't go to jiu-jitsu. Everybody's missing it. I think in terms of giving some people some excitement, something to look forward to in 2 weeks' time. Oh man, this next week's going to suck because we're all going to be in that. The lockdown's probably going to get tighter. The week after that, I get fed up. Oh man, there's a UFC on. I can't wait. I think. So I understand both sides of that argument. What's right, I don't know. That's why Dana White gets paid the big bucks, because he makes those decisions. But
I think both Dana and Vince were thinking the same thing, and again trying to get inside of crazy millionaires / billionaires is always difficult, but you have to assume they were thinking that we're going to be this weekend. Mania is the only show in town. Normally, it would be a bigger show this weekend anyway because they get the 70,000 through the gate. Whereas no one else, they've put it on pay-per-view still, which is bizarre. So they're charging people for it.
Yeah.
But there's no crowd, no atmosphere. And do you know what I mean? Like thinking about in boxing, imagine if the Fury Wilder fight had no crowd.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
I wonder if they
Wilder would have done better because he wouldn't have had to walk that 112 yards with 40 pounds of body armour. Because if he no one to impress, it might actually be better fighting his legs when he'd been dead. But do you know what I mean? Like, I think you need a crowd for sport to work.
How did the Legion of Doom manage it all those years ago?
A lot of drugs, I would imagine.
A lot of Dianabol and cocaine.
Oh, definitely.
Allegedly.
Definitely. But yeah, they used to run it. The Ultimate Warrior used to sprint to the ring and then shake the ropes like a crazy man.
Have you seen? Have you seen the? I'm sure I've sent you some at some point, but like the Instagram, where it's like 80s, 90s wrestling classics, and they're doing interviews with the Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man. How did their parents not know that they were on drugs?
Like,
sweating.
Jake Roberts. I remember my dad saying, like when I was like a kid watching the wrestling, he was like, "Watch Jake Roberts, he never blinks." And then nowadays you look back and you realize because he was just like, "Let me tell you," just like eyes wide open. So many drugs. I reckon they were 50, and if they weren't on drugs, they were giving them. Like that's how bad it was.
I would think there was some substance abuse. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, do you think they could? Like have speakers set up and pipe in like a crowd sound?
But how would you could do that, but it would just be like a background noise. When would it peak in valley? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a bit where the fight circled off and there's distance, and suddenly the pipe noise goes.
And then there's a bit does that anyway.
What was that?
UFC does that anyway. They just do that stupid woo.
So that's true. That is true. Yeah, you can put noise in.
The WWE would be easier because they obviously. I don't want to break your heart or anything here, but it's predetermined who's going to win. Like it's not all that real. Like I don't know if do you know that?
It's still real to me, damn it.
Like it's not real.
It is real. It's predetermined. There's a difference. It's real, but it's predetermined.
But yeah, it's still real. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if they could. WWE they could. The UFC probably couldn't. But yeah, I don't know how they could. I don't know.
I don't know either. That's what I'm saying. I'm intrigued. I still will watch Mania. And watch it. But it's going to be weird with the crowd. And allegedly, because it's predetermined, they've allegedly filmed different finishes, so no one actually knows how the matches are going to go. So they could change it mid-run. It'd be like, okay, load up THC now.
You're saying they've already had the matches?
Yeah, they pre-recorded all the matches, so they're not actually going out live either.
That's what no. I can't watch. This might just be because I'm becoming aware as I get older that I'm quite odd. I can't watch, even if I've recorded a fight. Doesn't matter what the fight is. Even if I've recorded UFC, recorded boxing, recorded the jiu-jitsu match. If it's not live, even if I don't know who won, I just can't watch it.
What? How?
That makes sense under this beautiful red hat. That makes sense in my head. No, I can't. Like if I had watched Fury Wilder 2, or I'd watched Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Wildy Zhang. Even if I didn't know what the result was, I couldn't watch the fight the next day because it isn't live. It's already happened. Therefore, it's history, and I don't care anymore.
Okay, fair enough.
But weirdly, this is where I am weird. So I can go back and watch. Pick a great fight. Some of the great, but go and watch a
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can go back and watch Bisping and Anderson Silva, things like that. I can go back and watch, Bisping and Dan Henderson, the first fights. I can go back and watch those fights on the archives. I just can't watch it the next day. I don't know why.
So basically, what you're saying is,
I've just realised I need a psychologist.
what you're saying is, you wouldn't watch it the day after, but give it 3 years and then you would watch it.
Yeah, give it like half a decade and I'll watch it. Okay. It was midway through in saying that I realised that I'm not normal.
No, you're not. No, you're not, quite frankly. You're just not. That's interesting. Tell you what, if you're a psychologist, comment below, folks. Tell us what's wrong.
Comment below. Or get me at the right thing.
Yeah, subscribe, comment below. But like,
you make an Instagram handles come along the bottom of the screen here. You do that.
Yeah, I could do that. I totally can. But that's just good enough.
I don't know what's so yeah, I don't know. I think Tyron Woodley's still trying to fight Colby Covington. I seen them two kind of going at it, and they're both saying they want it. Whether it happens, no idea. I think I've seen something about, did Kamaru Usman say he was cutting weight or something? Like he might try and but the thing is now, you can make one fight, 2 fights late. You can't make up a whole card on 2 weeks' notice.
No.
There's no way. There's just no way that's going to happen. So
I suspect they'll just cancel it this time because they were holding on because they wanted Khabib Tony, and if Khabib Tony's not going ahead,
I think if they could make Conor and Tony, I don't think they cancel that. You know what? It wouldn't even surprise me. Bear with me on this one. It wouldn't even surprise me if they just have Tony versus Conor as a main event and nothing else. How about that? How about they replay? How about they replay some? How about they replay the Joanna fight from the other week? How about they replay? I was going to say Yoel Romero, but nobody wants to see that again.
Yeah, I suppose they could replay like you were saying, classic fights. So you go back to like Anderson Silva, Forrest Griffin, or something like that. Go like really old, like relatively old, but go back into the cards, pull out some old matches that folk will watch again because they're classics.
Well,
and then
if they could make, I don't know why I'm pointing at you. If they could make Conor versus Tony Ferguson, if that fight can be made, don't make Conor. Well, I suppose Tony's probably not started cutting weight crazy yet. He's probably down to 165, maybe 170, round about there. Conor's probably, he's not a big guy, so he's probably the same way anyway. Why not just say, listen, guys, let's just fight whenever you're comfortable. And if that fight can be made, you don't have to worry about the rest of the card. Because I think it would be cool for next weekend, because everybody would be excited to watch. Like everybody would be excited to watch that because it gives people something to look forward to. Because at the minute, people are waking up, looking at the news, going, "Oh my God, what's the latest figures? And how many people? Oh my Jesus Christ!" Especially America's pretty bad just now. I think for people to have something to look forward to would be pretty cool just now.
Definitely. And as I said to you before, it goes back to a little bit of bread and circuses. Do you know what I mean? Give the masses something to watch and take their mind off it all. It would be interesting. I think if they did that, they would definitely have to adjust the pay-per-view rate accordingly because there's no way anyone's paying $79.99 or what the States pay for that. But do you know if you pitched it at $19.99 in the States or whatever, through on BP over here, or do you know what I mean? On the EXE,
everybody would watch.
Or they throw it all straight onto Fight Pass and bump the Fight Pass numbers up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know what they would do. Like, I don't know because again, the thing is, it's like this whole time is just crazy and nobody really knows. There's a lot of speculation, a lot of just people talking. But I mean, I assume Tony would want. He's going to command big money. Conor definitely commanded big money. Would those guys basically would they both say we'll do it for very little money just to give people something to watch? I don't know. Like I get that if it was like a basketball match or that. What's that silly sport that you watch again?
I don't know. I don't watch silly sports, Chris,
The
because I know
guy
you
with
try to get
the
me to American
the one,
football.
the
I know
one,
you try to
the
get
one,
me to American football.
the one with the guys with the big shoulder pads, like my grand wore in the 80s, and the
Aye, we've talked about that. Legion of Doom.
so it was one of those sports, yes, but fighting, I don't know. I don't know if people would want to fight for very little money just to please people. That's
Absolutely. But I mean, you could still give them a big payday and just UFC take the hit on it. But again, if it's the only show in town and they pitch it at $20 and they suddenly sell 3 million pay-per-view buys at 20 quid rather than 1.3 million.
Genuinely, if it was Tony Ferguson versus Justin Gaethje, I don't know. It would do good numbers. I think if you bring Conor in, I honestly think that would do multiple millions of views. It would do many buys because nobody's got anything else to watch. No. Especially in America, where it's going to be on at prime time, 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, whatever it would be on. That would do so many buys. It would be, and especially if it was, like you're saying, if that was $20 in America, that would do crazy number. Like Conor would, on his, Conor could fight my gran and do 2 million pay-per-views in America.
Absolutely.
So
it'll be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I think they're going to have to make an announcement in the next few days.
They're going to have to move.
Either announce Tony versus other, whoever it is, Justin Gaethje or Gaethje or Conor or whoever it might be, or just say, nah, it's just done and dusted. We're going to cancel it.
The thing is, I think if they were going to cancel it, I think we would have done it already. Do you know what I mean?
Options, I mean, I think they have to. They'll be exploring options in the background to seeing how close they could get to some form of a main event and a card. Because whoever was originally, I never looked into the undercard, but whoever was on the card originally under Khabib Tony are still going to be wanting to fight, you'd imagine, because they are X weeks into training camp. They've got bills to pay. They're going to get
those guys have to be paid. Mm-hmm. Because it's unfair on those guys to go through a training camp. The guys that are getting 20 grand, 30 grand a fight, 50 grand a fight, and they've spent 5 grand on a training camp for sparring partner, and they don't get a fight. Like, they've just wasted 5 grand of money they didn't really have. So it's those guys you feel sorry for. What happens? I don't know. Like, a cool thing for the UFC would be if they could make. I quite like that idea, just having a main event, or maybe having 2 fights. So if Colby wants to fight Tyron Woodley, put that on undercard, co-main. Conor, if he's ready, if he wants to take the fight against Tony wants to take the fight. If you have 2 fights, and then just say to everybody on the undercard, listen, we'll cover your purse to show. So if they're on some of them, the very bottom guys will be on 10 to show and 10 to win. Well, we'll give you the 10 to show. That would be cool on the UFC's part. Make it $20 because it's only a couple of fights. How many millions do you think that would do?
Aye, yeah, totally. Because as you say, there's nothing else on just now. Everyone's crying out for some form of live sport.
That could legitimately do. I'm not even joking. That could legitimately do 10 million buys in America.
Do you think it goes high as 10, even for MMA?
Well, what else is anybody going to watch?
Nah, totally true. There is nothing else.
People watch NBA or baseball or ice hockey. There's nothing for. Nobody has anything to do. So it gives people, if you market it properly, that would get so many buys if it was cheap. Like you're saying, $20, which is like 15 quid, 17 quid, something like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, that could do mega buys. And the thing is, with Tony, you're almost guaranteed a good fight. Almost guaranteed a good fight because he's a crazy bastard.
Totally. I think that's why Dana White's pushed ahead even with the Khabib Tony. When everything was saying shut down, there's no point continuing. Shut down, there's no point continuing.
Yeah, he realises that there's
million to buy, and I think, I think that's why Vince is pushing ahead with Mania with no crowd, because again, it's the only thing. There's no other wrestling going on if you're a wrestling fan. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, a lot of people tune in to watch. You know how some sports have like one event you watch every year. Like no one watches the golf, but lots of people watch the Open. And no one watches horse racing, but everyone watches the Grand National or something. A lot of people tune in and watch WrestleMania once a year, just like the Super Bowl in the NFL. A lot of people watch the only game of American football they watch every year is the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people are still going to watch WrestleMania regardless. And Vince is thinking, I'm still charging $49.99 for that, or whatever that is.
Crazy.
In an empty gym. It's not even in an arena. It's in their performance centre. It's in a gym, like a warehouse unit.
Warehouse unit.
That's what it is. It's just a big warehouse unit on the outskirts of, I think it's in Orlando somewhere, but it's in Florida. I think it is outskirts of Orlando. And it's just a big industrial unit that they own as their performance centre. And they've filmed it already.
So,
apparently.
So, talking about crazy things that go down in Florida, what did you think of, what was it, Tiger King?
Tiger King, honestly, mate, it's been the best thing. I've been speaking to so many people about it. I'm sending memes galore. I've been meme dealing my phone to death over this show. It's honestly, for anyone, I'm not going to say too much about it because I don't want to spoil it for anyone, genuinely. But if you haven't already watched it, get on Netflix and watch Tiger King. Because it is just, every episode you think, that's mad. And then you get into the next episode and you're like, man, I thought it was mad. And it just, to give you an idea, there's one point where a guy drives up in a 2-seater, like open cockpit race car with a plastic skeleton riding shotgun. And they don't even explain it. You just accept that the guy's driving a 2-seater open cockpit race car with a plastic skeleton whilst wearing shades and a mullet. And no one bats an eyelid. No one bats an eyelid about it. It's honestly the best thing I've ever watched. I do think, again, putting the conspiracy hat on, it was because they were like, people are freaking about coronavirus, what can we do? Give them the crazy redneck with tigers. Thrown out there. It's honestly the best thing I've seen in probably the last 5 or 6 years. It's just been absolutely genius, eh? So if you're watching this and you haven't watched Tiger King, go on Netflix, do yourself a favour. You're going to be doing nothing else just now anyway. There's like 7 episodes.
No. Alistair, don't be ridiculous. Finish watching us.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Once you finish watching this, jump on Netflix. Because it's the funniest genius thing. I saw a meme that said, just to give you an idea, because I know you've not seen all of it or any of it, but they said if they're ever going to make it into a movie, then the guy Joe Exotic has to be played by Kenny Powers from Eastbound and Down. I can't mind what that. I've played Joe Exotic. And then wait to hear this. There's a guy in it, Doc Antle, who supplies like all the animals to all the big Hollywood films. And at one point, the cameraman or the guy who's doing the filming says to one of the girls that works for Doc, "Why'd you call him Doc?" And she goes, "Oh, it's because he's got a PhD." And they go, "What's he got his PhD in?" "Mystical sciences."
Oh, that's very 2020.
Sciences.
Mystical sciences.
So they said to play him, you have to have Will Ferrell.
Oh my God.
That's just to give you an idea of how incredible it is. And
did you imagine Danny McBride?
That's his name, Danny McBride, thank you.
Right,
I'd forgotten his name. If you pitched it as a movie idea, they would say, no, it's too ridiculous. Imagine, have you ever seen the film Joe Dirt with David Spade? Nah. Okay. Because it's kind of like that with meth and tigers.
Meth and tigers.
That's what it is. It's rednecks, meth, tigers, and some crazy side stories. You have to go more.
I watched 5 minutes of it. I seen a big snake and turned it off.
I know. That snake's in it. There's literally snakes in it for about 30 seconds of the entire run. The rest of it is genius. See, if you just skip over that first 5 minutes, you'll be hooked, mate. It's honestly the best thing in the world. Okay.
Like little slivery devils.
It's the funniest thing in the world. Honestly, the funniest thing in the world. This, I'm even caring that this is hashtag spoiler alert. If anyone wants to not listen for the next 2 minutes that's watching that hasn't seen it, mute yourself now and I'll wave when it comes back off. But the guy has 2 husbands, Chris. 2 husbands, and neither of them are gay.
Wait. The guy?
Yeah, Joe Exotic's gay, who's the guy who runs the zoo. He has 2 husbands, neither of them are gay, but he gave them meth and let them play with tigers, so they're like, yeah, fuck it, I'll get married to you. Now, have you ever... That's how crazy it is, Chris. That's how crazy it is.
Holy shit.
Genuinely, that's how there's two guys and they're both like, yeah, we're not gay though. And they're like, but you're married to Joe. It's like, yeah, but he gives us meth and lets us play with the tigers.
Where's it set? I thought it was set in Florida.
Oh, well, there's a bit in Florida, so there's like 3 different sections. There's one section in South Carolina, which is with that Doc Antle. There's a bit in Florida with Carol Baskins, who is evil incarnate. Another spoiler alert. And then Joe Exotic's in Oklahoma. So all this redneck world's going on in Oklahoma, and he does country music videos.
I've seen something. Now, apparently there was a video, and I didn't go into it. Apparently there's a video where Joe Exotic was getting really upset because he wasn't allowed to drop N-bombs on camera.
Yes. Yeah. It's the best. There's so many moments in it that if you had just that one moment, you could almost make an entire documentary series off that one moment, and it's a throwaway in this series, an absolute throwaway. There's a guy in it who's lost both his legs because at 18 he fell off a zip line. I shouldn't be laughing because it's terrible, but it's funny. He fell off a zip line and smashed both his legs. His hip bones went up into his stomach, and he decided he needed to keep working, so he released himself from the hospital and kept walking on the bones of his legs until his bones basically disintegrated. And they had to do like a mid-thigh amputation on both his legs. And that's just one small piece of the puzzle, Chris. One small piece of the puzzle. You need to watch it, man. It's honestly the best thing in the world.
Oh my God. That seems disgusting.
It's honestly amazing. It's genuinely one of the best, what are we talking, 5.5 hours of TV I've ever sat and watched.
The only like series I've ever watched in my entire life is Vikings. That's it. I haven't watched anything else.
But you also don't eat tomatoes or pasta, so you know.
I haven't tried pasta. Again, this is one of those things that make me think that I'm probably a little bit strange. I haven't tried it.
You know, I've never seen Vikings, so I'm gonna have to go and watch that.
Do you like violence and sex?
No. You ask Sandra, she'll say no.
Watch it.
I think I watched the first couple of episodes of season 1 and then just kind of never got back into it because I was watching other stuff.
Really good. I was going to say talk about violence. Did you see the video of Billy Joe Saunders showing people how to beat their wife up if they're giving them hassle during lockdown? He's had his license suspended.
Quite right.
Like, I don't know how many chances he gets to be just so stupid.
Nah, even in this day, to think that would be seen as funny.
It doesn't matter if you're making that as a joke. If you're a world champion, you can't even make jokes. Like, why would you make a joke about that in the first place?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not funny even in any way, shape, or form.
If you're like a Dave Chappelle comedian and you're doing a bit about it, you could probably get away with it. But other than that, like, why would you put yourself out on the internet saying this is how to beat a woman up if she's giving you hassle during the lockdown? Why would you do that? Like, how stupid does it have to be? So now he's probably lost the Canelo fight, which was going to be worth multiple millions to him. And so his license suspended until the British board does an investigation. So he's probably going to get a suspension. He's had to make an apology, but like, it's not his first. This isn't his first thing that he's done.
Did you hear him
talking about? He's like John Jones. At some point, you have to go. Maybe he's just an asshole.
Because I was going to say John Jones is the other one that's done it. Like, to drive about drunk when he's already had, like, you remember when he crashed into the pregnant lady and caused all that. Drunk are arseholes anyway. There's no two ways about it. So he's driving about drunk with a firearm, just shooting out the window. And then you also have to wonder, in those situations, particularly with like John Jones, the Saunders one's a bit different because he was by himself, but like, and I get John Jones as a full. Surely he's got like a manager or decent mates that would go, come on, Matt. Do you know what I mean? Like, how many people are hanging about with them because it's John Jones, and how many folk are legit mates that are going to be like, right, mate, let's just...
And the worst thing is, John Jones has got a biblical
Philippians.
On yeah. And Billy Joe Saunders also claims to be, religious. And you're thinking, I don't mean to tell you about your religion, but I don't think I want you to be a twat. I haven't read the Bible. I don't think that's in the Old Testament or the New Testament. like thou shalt drink and drive. If they've done it once, if John Jones had done it once, and Billy Joe Saunders had done something stupid once, you'd say, right, come on, man, you're a grown man. You can't be doing. And then you forgive them, but it's not even twice or three. It's like multiple times that they do ridiculous. Thinking, how many chances do you get?
I know. And you see, an element of it is because they make a lot of money for a lot of people, that a lot of it gets a blind eye turned to it.
Yeah.
But you think after the first strike, the second strike, people say, right, come on, that money train's going to stop a rapid style if you keep acting like an asshole. You're going to have to cap down. Do you know what I mean? Like, came out and went...
is by taking money off them, is by stopping them making a living. The problem with the UFC had with Jones for ages was he was kind of the big star and they kind of needed them to make money. I don't know if he's still the star that he was. I don't...
I think he's probably been eclipsed in recent years, certainly with more recent fans, by McGregor. But remember there was that spell where like the UFC tried to create like their new brand of stars. So they had Rousey, who in fairness was on a storm for a long time and then obviously got smashed. And then remember like Paige Van Zandt and what was the young kid? Sage
Northcutt.
Sage Northcutt. And they tried to pitch that as like the new generation and pushed them all up a bit fast and they all got hammered and it all fell apart. What was that?
CM Punk.
CM Punk Brooks. Coming just like having no ability whatsoever.
That's what happens that's what happens, people, when you think, I think I could do that.
I'm just because I've seen him knock out the Big Show. I've seen him body slam people and like I couldn't get why he didn't just stand up and take an elbow drop off the top of the octagon. It was so weird.
Wait,
like,
did you just say why don't you just stand up?
Yeah, totally.
Are you saying jiu-jitsu doesn't work in the street? Is that what you're saying?
100% saying that, mate.
Oh, man,
100% saying that.
I should have tried that. I should have just stood up. John Jones. You're talking about Ronda Rousey there. I never rated Ronda Rousey. Do you know what? You know what's funny? And I said this at the time. Right, this is one of the funniest things. When Ronda Rousey was on her big run, and she was knocking everybody out in a minute, 30 seconds, and people go, "Oh my God, she's the best female athlete of all time." And I go, "But didn't she only win a silver?"
I just want to.
So she won at judo that year. Whereas like Kayla Harrison, who's got 2 gold medals in judo, she's not in the UFC, she's in the PFL. She's a beast. But yeah, at the time there was so many people, because as people do, they jump on the hype train. And people were calling her like she's the best female athlete of all time. You went, have you heard of the Williams sisters? Like, don't be ridiculous. She had a few, and the thing is, again, women's MMA's come on a lot since then. Whereas Ronda Rousey was, looking back, she was really good for a woman. Whereas you look at Amanda Nunes and Weili Zhang and you go, no, they're just good.
Aye. I think the other thing as well was, like you were saying, women's MMA was in the infancy, so it was almost like we were saying the other episode, where Hoyce in the early UFCs was just tapping everyone because guys are coming out with one glove and having no idea what's going on, and they knew the skill set. And Rousey had that judo background plus the jiu-jitsu background that she could catch anyone in an armbar. And if you've never been hit by a top level person throwing an armbar, you're not really sure, oh, I didn't even see that armbar coming, and suddenly I'm tapping.
Of course, you know all about that.
Yeah, because I armbar everybody. But I think that was what Ronda had. And then she came up against other women that had kind of had the chance to watch her and figure her out. And then they had added a little bit to their game. And I think Ronda, I don't know, again, was it our team that was around her not giving her the right advice, not
Edmund
making her improve and explain her skills? Yeah. So she wasn't really working on striking because, like, well, all you need to do is grapple, head throw, armbar. All of a sudden, you've got someone standing off that can keep you on the jab. And all they did, do you know what, Chris? All they did was stand up, and she couldn't do anything.
Just stand up, man. Just stand up. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Yeah. Just stand up. Stand up.
Just stand up. Doesn't work.
Yeah. So it would have been funny. I never cheered louder. There's 2 times I can remember that I cheered like super loud at 4 o'clock in the morning watching a fight when Ronda Rousey got knocked out of Holly Holm. And the other time was when Marcus Maidana dropped Adrian Broner. I had never, there was 2 times where I can remember literally like jumping out my seat at 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh, shit, I've got neighbours. It's something about those when people, Floyd Mayweather's and the Conor McGregor's in that category as well. People love to see somebody getting beat. McGregor's in there, Mayweather's never been beaten. Mayweather has been beaten, actually. Boxing fans, he has been beaten. Jose Luis Castillo beat him the first time, but he didn't. But people like watching those people getting beat. So there was 2 times I never liked Rousey at all. It's one of those. It's
I hated Nassim Hamed back in the 90s for that reason. I just wanted to see him get knocked out. I just wanted to see him spark it cold. I was a little bit like that where other boxers, you like watching boxers getting knocked out because you just don't like
them to get knocked out.
What was that?
Did you ever see, talking about knockouts, did you ever see the 2 knockouts that stick in my head? 2 of them were both times, it was like, again, it wasn't a massive, like I didn't cheer. It was one of those where you go, holy, is he okay? It was when Marquez knocked out Pacquiao.
Yep.
And when Sergio Martinez knocked out Paul Williams. 2 moments where the Martinez one was unbelievable, but it sounded like a gun went off. It was such a clean cut, and both times you watched it and you watched the person. You know when somebody's out bad because they don't put their hands down. It's just
they just fall.
And at the minute you go, oh, and then like a minute goes past and you're like, holy shit, are they going to it like genuinely terrifying? You see them like that. There's been a few in the UFC where people get put like.
Probably the famous one recently was that Ngannou uppercut on Overeem, where he just launched his head into orbit.
Overeem's one of those guys, man. Where I would be, if he was my friend. Like I don't know how he's doing financially. He gets paid good money still. He's still getting several £100,000 a fight, so he must be doing all right. He's made a lot of money. He's been around for a long time, but. If he was my friend, I'd be saying, you need to stop getting hit in the head.
Do you know the worst thing that ever happened to him? UFC wellness program.
Oh, yeah, he stopped taking steroids.
See when he stopped taking his testosterone replacement therapy. And all of a sudden...
The golden snitch came around, yeah.
Because remember when he was Uber Eats, it was just blitzing people. And then TRT Vitor Belfort. He was the same.
Yeah.
And suddenly they had medication.
That was when, that would have been when the Golden Snitch came on board.
Was indeed. Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, suddenly those guys just weren't the same fighters, and you're like, wonder what happened there.
Who would win out of TRT Belfort and John Jones? Prime John Jones.
I still think Jones.
You think so? Well, I've seen that. Jones is.
Remember, was that no who? No, it was Anderson Silva that face kicked him, eh?
Anderson Silva face kicked him. Prime Vitor Belfort, TRT Belfort versus a Prime. But the thing is, Prime Jones was probably on something.
100%.
He was on that Canelo meet. He was on that Canelo meet down in Mexico.
Totally was.
Cuban stew. That doesn't work that way, does it? Because Jones has failed drugs tests.
Yes. Picograms. That's where we learned the word picograms in the English language.
That's one of those words. That's one of those words where you don't even know what it means, but it sounds small, so they kind of convince you that it's all right. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
It failed the drugs test, but it was only by half a picogram.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds okay. I mean, that's all right. But nobody knows what a picogram is.
No, I thought Pokemon.
I was going to say that the peak TRT Belfort was a scary man.
But then so was 19-year-old Belfort. If you go right back to the old school.
Yeah.
Do you remember the 19-year-old coming in the UFC like 46, 47, and he actually looked like TRT Belfort because he was obviously just jacked up on general.
Was he not already on TRT then?
I don't know, because he still looked like a savage, but they were just like, oh, he's a 19-year-old savage, just full of like young, dumb, full of cum, and just like charging into people and blitzing boys. But it was still TRT, possibly. It was still TRT.
Because I know who was it I listened to talking about? Who was it was talking about the Pride contract? Where they were saying like
oh, with the
capital letters.
Yeah,
we do not test you for steroids. Capital letters. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a Wild West. So there's an argument for steroids in fighting. There's an argument for steroids in all sports, to be fair.
I'm okay with steroids in this sounds terrible, but I'm okay with steroids in most sports apart from fighting. Because I get there's a financial side to it. Do you know, if you win the gold medal and get on the endorsements versus finishing fourth and getting nothing, but then also think if everyone's on drugs, then it levels it out. It's like the classic one is Lance Armstrong in the Tour de France. When he got busted, they've left those 7 or 8 tours that he won as null and void because they basically went back through the classification and they were getting down to like boys that were finishing 150, 152 before they were getting clean tests. Yeah. And they were basically... So then if everyone's on drugs, surely Lance Armstrong was just the best at getting the drugs and being a good athlete. Yeah, but the problem I have with it in combat sports of whatever variety is if you're fighting someone that's clean and you're not, then that gives you an unfair advantage to physically hurt someone, potentially. And that's where I draw the line. Like if someone runs faster than me because they're on whatever, that just is what it is. I'm just not smart enough.
Faster than you wear my flip-flops.
Behave yourself. You could run further, not faster. But yeah, I don't like it in combat sports for some reason. Do you know what I mean? That's my line in the sand.
No, I agree. I don't, because it doesn't improve your skill set. So I don't like it. Again, it would come down to end with it. Like, yeah, I don't agree with it. And but the thing is, the point in all fight sports, doesn't matter what you're watching, jiu-jitsu, as you know, you watch some of those guys and you go,
oh yeah.
But the thing is you know that even in the UFC where it's got really strict testing protocols, you know some of those guys are not clean.
Yes.
So if you know somebody's like Brock Lesnar when he came back and fought Mark Hunt, Brock Lesnar was not clean. Brock Lesnar came in to save the card. Like officially, obviously that wasn't the case, but everybody knows that was the case. So why didn't they just let Mark Hunt take steroids and make it even?
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, no, I agree.
If both fighters agree, then I have less of an issue. But if there's a fighter that's staying clean and there's someone that's dirty, inducing, and doesn't tell the other person, then I'll have a bit of an issue with it.
I'm with you. You know, you can't really. You don't want to hurt. You want to hurt people when you're fighting. That's the name of the game. But you're not looking to permanently damage people. But the problem is, if there's money involved, there will always be cheating.
Of course, there will be.
And I'm pretty confident if you go back to the first ever Olympics in was it Athens, the first Olympics?
Let's say that.
Certainly in Greece. I guarantee you they were doing something to get a performance advantage. Like somebody found a berry in the woods that was like, I feel great when I have this. So, you know what I mean? I guarantee they were doing something. So yeah, I don't know what you do with that. I don't know how you combat steroids in sports.
I suppose what you have to just do is test as much as you can and hope that you catch enough people that acts as a deterrent. But you know it's not going to happen because that just doesn't. Do you know what I mean?
Can't test everybody.
No, you can't because it costs too much money. That's the other problem. To test it to a decent level costs.
If you're doing random testing, which you should be, and you want people to, you have to pay people to turn up at any point at any part of the world to test your fighters.
Yeah,
it's going to be difficult to do that. That's a big financial.
And to get it tested in labs, proper accredited, like top level labs, it costs like 10,000 a test and upwards, depending on what you're testing for.
Yeah.
A lot of sports can't afford that. A lot of sports can't afford that. So, yeah, the problem is the genie's out of the bottle or out of the syringe, I guess. That it's never ever going to stop now. It just won't stop.
Weirdly, that's another thing that I'm scared of.
Needles.
I don't like needles at all.
I'm doing that. Have you got any tattoos though?
I have no tattoos. To the point where this is genuinely how bad it is. So I've got 4 fillings on my bottom teeth, like 2 on each side. I didn't even get an injection when I got my fillings. So when they were drilling my teeth, I could feel everything.
I had to, when my kids were all born to get their immunisations, I had to take them. Cassandra didn't like seeing them cry. She doesn't bother now, obviously, because they're older. But when they were wee, they had to go. And I used to take them for the injection. I had to literally hold the baby back. No, you're going to be fine. As soon as the needle comes out, I'd be like, like that is horrific.
I don't like needles. I can't do
needles either.
I would love to give blood. I would love to give blood, and honestly, the idea of a needle just makes me go.
I genuinely, I've given blood about 4 or 5 times, and the last time I did it, I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. And it wasn't the going in was the issue, and the blood came out, filled the bag.
It never is it?
Hey. See when they pulled the needle out, I felt it like come out through my arm, and I was just like, oh nah. That's hard. I don't know how people get tattoos and enjoy it. It just baffles me. Repeatedly stabbed with the needle. Nah. Nah.
So tell me, who's your favourite all-time fighter?
In which sport? In boxing?
Any sport. UFC, boxing.
I've got a couple of boxers that I was always a big fan of. Number 1, Mike Tyson, which I think most people our age probably have an affinity to Mike Tyson. And then number 2, Marvin Hagler. Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
They were probably the 2 fighters. That fight with Hagler Hearns, like you were saying earlier, you could watch that all day on repeat and never get bored of it. Do you know what I mean? So they were they're probably my 2 favourite boxers. In terms of MMA, I don't actually know if I have a favourite fighter. Like, genuinely, I don't know if I do. There's fighters that I like to see and enjoy watching, but I wouldn't really say that. Like, probably the closest to it is Cowboy Cerrone. I just like Cowboy.
I think everybody loves Cowboy.
I think it's that, do you know what I mean? Just that I'll fight anyone, just I don't care if I get beat up, I'm here for a good time and to make some money and do cool stuff with the money I've got. I kind of respect that attitude. I was a big fan of Couture back in the day, Randy Couture.
Yeah.
GSP always had a grudging respect for him. I never thought he was the most exciting fighter, but I respected, do you know what I mean, how good he was.
GSP is such a good martial artist. And the most important thing is he's never really in a camp. He's just always in shape.
Yeah.
So he respects the fact that he's just constantly in shape. He's always round about his weight. He's probably always within 10% of his weight, his fight weight. He's a fantastic. I mean, if you're looking at, so interestingly say GSP. So if I was saying, if you're looking at the definition of being a professional fighter, you have to look towards GSP and Bernard Hopkins, guys who were never out of shape. Oh, and again, Hopkins wasn't exciting, but unbelievable fighter, and his dedication was incredible. Those are the guys you look towards saying, those are the guys a young guy should model himself. Of course, never do. They always want to model themselves on Conor McGregor or Floyd Mayweather. and be a young brash asshole. But you should really look at Bernard Hopkins GSP. Yeah, not exactly exciting, but
they're just that grudging of him, eh? As you say, they just and he never seemed to have a weakness. GSP, like, and anything that was a weakness in the early days, he worked on and became better at it. You have to respect that, I think. What about yourself? Who's your favourite fighter?
Favourite fighter, without any question, is Roy Jones Jr. Nobody in any sport will ever be more unbeatable than Roy in his prime. Absolutely didn't make sense. His movement, his speed. Went up to heavyweight and beat John Rees. He's one of those people where he did everything wrong. He did everything wrong. So if you're teaching someone how to box, don't watch Roy Jones.
Yeah.
Watch Bernard Hopkins. But Roy was so fast, outrageous skill, movement, clever. He was the best fighter. He's the best fighter of all time in his prime. Prime for prime for anybody. Roy Jones is better than anybody. 100%. MMA, I don't know. Again, I don't know if I have a favourite fighter in MMA. GSP is GSP is so good, but it's not an exciting answer, is it?
No, it's not. But I'm saying it was like
you want to give like a cool answer, like, oh man, he was really good. Anderson Silva, but then Anderson Silva was past his best by the time he got to the UFC, so most people didn't really get to see the best of Anderson. Mighty Mouse, I mean, an amazing fighter, but there's so many guys in boxing the same who the biggest curse is being so small. I mean, Chocolate too. He was like a champion at 112, 115, 118 in boxing. But nobody really cared because he was so small. Like Mighty Mouse, nobody cares because you're tiny. Whereas you get, the heavyweights, I mean, in terms of ability, Francis Ngannou shouldn't be in the same arena as Mighty Mouse in terms of ability. But who do you rather?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, absolutely. So, you're always going to have that heavier weights, aren't you?
Yeah. So, again, I'd like to give a really exciting answer, but probably GSP in the UFC or MMA in general, and Roy always wanted to fight Anderson Silva as well. They always wanted to fight each other. Yeah, they always wanted to fight each other. Boxing as well. Anderson wanted to fight him in boxing, which might have been interesting, but I doubt it. Roy was so good. But yeah, so yeah, I think it's funny when you talked about Mike Tyson. You were talking about Mike Tyson being one of your favourite fighters. It's amazing to watch him, considering how small a human being he is.
Mm-hmm.
Now you look at him, he was tiny. Like they said at the time, he was 5'11" and a half. I think was his like official height. He's not 5'11" and a half. he might be 5'10". He's a tiny little man. I think he was 215 in his prime. Just has there ever been anybody scarier than an 86 to 88 Tyson?
No, I genuinely don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't think so, because that's when I started watching boxing. Because I would have been sort of 8, 9, 10 that neck of the woods, and that's when I started watching boxing. And as you say, he would just go out and just destroy people. Do you know what I mean?
What happens if 86 to 88 Tyson fights late 60s Ali? So the Ali that beat
and they listed in those fights.
No. After that, who was it? Famous picture. What the hell? This is when you wish you had a young Jamie to pull shit up. Who was it beat? Who was it he beat? It was his best performance. I forget the name. The iconic picture from above where the guy starfished. I forget the name. 1960.
That was Sonny Liston.
No. It was after that.
Time he fought.
I can't remember it. But it was his best performance, universally regarded as his best performance. That version of Ali versus the Tyson that beats Spinks or something like that. Marvis Fraser, one of those guys. Who wins? This is good. I feel like I could have a pint. In fact,
who does?
In fact, you know what? Talk to yourself. You can discuss it with yourself in a minute. I'll be back.
Okay. So the question for the audience: Tyson or Ali in their prime? I genuinely don't know. It's the cop-out answer, eh? I genuinely do not know. What have you got there?
It's Isle of Arran blonde.
Thought it was an Isle of Arran. That's where I'm from. That's where I was born. The Isle of Arran.
A beautiful beer. Very nice beer. So,
I like it. Isle of Arran. But if they fought, I was just saying to myself while you were away, I genuinely don't know. I don't know who wins that. It's the fight of the century that will never be made because.
Here's the way you break it down.
Go for it.
So Tyson was basically a harder hitting, faster Joe Frazier.
That's what I was going to say. Ali fought people more like Tyson. Did Tyson fight anyone like Ali?
So here's where it gets interesting, right? So people talk about the fight that you just said the fight of the century. So the fight of the century was Frazier Ali, right? People always talk about this, and people always remember Ali. Ali was a man from that era. He was the greatest of all time, the Louisville Lip, the best shit talker that there ever has been, because he invented it. Well, he took it from Gorgeous George, but that's a different thing. But he basically invented it. People forget who won the fight of the century.
Yeah,
Joe Frazier won the fight, dropped him.
Mm-hmm.
So Joe Frazier was Ali's kryptonite. And the closest thing to Joe Frazier, albeit a better, more explosive, more powerful, quick, better head movement version of Joe Frazier, was Mike Tyson. The problem is, the thing that got Tyson more than anything was the fact that he couldn't deal with somebody that wasn't scared of him. He didn't know how to deal with it. So when he lost to Buster Douglas, mum had died, so he was kind of a bit messed up before that fight anyway. So, but he kind of promised his mum he was going to be heavyweight champion. So that, and he kind of, after he got dropped, he kind of dug in and he just a stubborn man who went, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to stand here and I'm going to give it a go. And he gave it a go, and he ended up. Tyson didn't train, all this kind of stuff. If you look at the Holyfield fights, are a better idea. Holyfield's one of those Atlanta guys who, from the south, who his mama told him that he could do anything, and he had this insane belief in himself because his mum told him that he could do anything. But when he stood up to Tyson, although it was again at past the prime Tyson, Tyson didn't really know what to do. So if you take this is the best one to talk about. So it's basically the unmovable object and unstoppable force, because I think they're the absolute antidote to each other. So I think Ali would have him in knots at the away in at a press conference. I think Ali would have him in knots, and that's what would win him the fight mentally, because the thing that people forget about Ali, and it's really underrated, because people think about Ali, they think about dazzling hand speed, really good footwork, and so elusive. His movement was unbelievable. He moved like a welterweight. Ali had an outrageous chin.
Yeah,
Ali had a fantastic chin.
Yeah.
So if Tyson couldn't put him away in 3 rounds, and Ali started to clown him, pawing up his hand and playing to the crowd and all this kind of stuff, like a Tyson Fury does now,
Yeah.
I think Tyson would I think he would fade. I think Ali would stop him. That's what I think happens with that fight. Amazing fight. It's the best fight to talk about in a pub. You're having a lovely beer. That's the one. I think that fight's of all time. Top 10. Everything that was wrong, everything that was wrong for Ali. I just think mentally. So like Tyson Fury does now with Wilder, like he did with Klitschko. He climbs people, he mentally gets to people, but he cornered it to Jose Aldo. Same thing. Cornered it to Jose Aldo to the point where he had no idea what to do. I mean, when Fury fought Klitschko and he came running in as Batman, you seen Klitschko and he just kind of going down.
Klitschko didn't know what to do with it. I've had this chat at work. He didn't know he just didn't know what to do. And it was like, do you remember when Steve Collins fought Chris Eubank and convinced Chris Eubank that he'd been hypnotised to not feel pain? Eubank didn't know what to do with it. Eubanks didn't know what to do with it.
I tell you, a great fight would have been if Steve Collins had actually fought Kawasaki instead of relinquishing his belt. He just basically retired, gave up. Eubank fought Kawasaki for the vacant belt, but that would have been a good fight. Pub talks. These great pub talks. Sorry, as these mystical fights. I don't think it really worked for the UFC. I don't think it worked for the UFC because, like we were saying, like last week on the first episode, the first episode, I don't think it works in the UFC because you can't make. So one interesting thing. Sorry, I'm jumping about here. One interesting thing was, I remember watching Mike Tyson. Somebody was interviewing him on Sky Sports or whatever it was, and they were saying, "How do you think he would have done against Vladimir Klitschko or Vitaly Klitschko?" And Mike Tyson gave the best answer I've ever heard to it. And he was saying, as athletes, we don't like to admit it, but the next generation get better because humans generally get bigger, they get stronger.
Yeah.
Sports science gets better, the nutrition gets better. People learn from the previous guy, so they get better. And it was the best answer I've ever heard because it was Tyson saying, I don't want to talk about fighting Klitschko because he's bigger, stronger, he's got better steroids, so they get better. So with the UFC, there's not. You can't really compare it in the UFC because although the athletes are getting better, they're so much better rounded now. Better rounded now.
Yeah.
So like,
there was the original ones. The original ones were all basically single skill set, like we said about the Gracies, that had the one skill that they were expert in, and then there quickly became people that worked out, like you were saying, worked out how to beat that skill with the skills that they had, and then mixed a little bit into it. But they always had the base of one martial art of some description. So you had the wrestlers that would use the ground and pound, like Tito Ortiz and the Mark Comans. You would still have the jiu-jitsu guys that would use predominantly jiu-jitsu with a little bit of striking thrown in just to close the distance. Yeah. But the majority of the guys and the women that are fighting in the UFC and MMA generally have now came into it as MMA, as mixed martial arts. MMA's almost became a martial art by itself, if that makes sense. It's not so much mixed martial arts as it's became MMA. So you have to combine the striking and the grappling and the submission wrestling. Or
if you think about if you think about any champion from 10 years ago to fight like a current champion, I mean, it would be. I genuinely think it would be. I mean, other than GSP, I think it would be quite embarrassing how much a golf would be, like a jump in class.
If you just look at like Tim Sylvia against Stipe Miocic. Sylvia takes that all day. Like it just happens, or DC or any top level heavyweight nowadays would take Tim Sylvia. And Tim Sylvia wasn't a great fighter even back then. He was just a big human being. Do you know what I mean? But
DC's a funny one because he's small. DC could probably make 185
if he wanted to. It was like Tito Ortiz. Tito Ortiz was the same. He used to fight and could have easily dropped down.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to. He wanted to stay at that heavier weight.
What are you drinking?
Genuinely just the back end of a cup of tea, my Banter Merchant one.
Oh my god.
That was all.
Did you buy that for yourself?
Too right, I did.
You fucking life. Yeah. So yeah, it's great. It's great pub talk because there's no right answer. It's like
no.
It's like there's no right. So it's like I always say to people when they talk about people talk about music because topical because they just got tagged in that thing about 10 great albums or define your music. There's no right or wrong answer to it. I mean, if you think the Backstreet Boys are one of the best albums of all time, then you're an idiot. But you're not wrong because it's what you like. So if you think because there's no way of proving it, there's no measurable thing.
No,
you can't be wrong. So that's what it's interesting. I wonder what we should maybe put a poll up on Instagram or something and see what people would give them a few choices and see what who's people do like a quarter-final, semi-final, final to who's
like a fantasy card.
Yeah. Who do you think the best? Who do you think's like the favourite fighter and make do an MMA one and do a boxing one and see who people would think would be like end up. It might be quite an interesting thing to do. Something we haven't even mentioned there is like Fedor, like who never even fought in the UFC.
No.
But with Fedor,
gets as much love.
Do you really think Fedor would beat Stipe, like prime for prime?
I don't know because I didn't see enough of Fedor. That's what it comes down to. You don't have the same exposure to it because Fedor spent his whole career in Pride, and Pride wasn't as viewable in the UK when Fedor was at his peak. But everyone involved in the game pretty much has Fedor as the GOAT, as the greatest. Do you know what I mean? That you think, well, because it would have been great to see even like can you imagine like peak Fedor versus peak Cain Velasquez before Cain Velasquez just fell apart? He was a machine. Do you know what I mean? Like you think of Cain Velasquez, like that tank that he had to just keep going at that pace continually for the full 25 minutes.
When was Cain at his peak?
What year are we in? I would say 14, 15, 4 or 5 years ago.
When did Jeff Nowitzki get involved?
Oh, totally. No, I know. All the AK guys were at it. But regardless, Cain Velasquez
what always makes me laugh, right? It's when you hear the commentators in the UFC and they talk about even now Tony Ferguson. Before that, it was Jesus, who was it that lost to Henry Cejudo? Moved down in weight. TJ Dillashaw moved down, and they were talking about TJ Dillashaw's got the most insane gas tank we've ever seen, and you're like, doesn't that on its own make you go, hang on a minute, this guy just doesn't stop. He's unbelievable. He just fights for 5'5". If that doesn't make you go, yeah.
That's the supremely
5'5", eh?
They're supremely conditioned athletes. That's all it is.
Yeah, but also fucking on. What did he fail? I think he failed for EPO.
EPO he got popped for. Which guess what? Gives you cardio.
Increases that's the one with that's what Lance Armstrong was on. So it increases is it the red blood cells?
100%. Yeah.
The blood the cyclists have to get up at like midnight and go for a cycle to thin the blood out, otherwise they'll die.
Yeah, your blood clots. Aye, it does. Yeah, it increases your red blood cell, allows your oxygen absorption to increase or something. I'm sure that we're technical people are shouting at us just now. But yeah, and as you say, that's why Dillashaw had it. But Velasquez was still, even with, all the substances on, was still tremendous. And then you think, well, Fedor must have been, because like we said, he was in Pride his entire career, and Pride specifically said, we will not drug test.
Yeah. But he had that little pot belly, so...
Aye.
Yeah, I mean, listen, any fighter who's fighting at that level, at the top level, is a good fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? They just are. You don't fight in the UFC, even Bellator. You're not fighting in Bellator unless you're bloody good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're just not. I mean, some of the guys who did Eddie Alvarez lose to and won? You know, went over to one. He got knocked out.
But he got totally hammered.
Yeah, he got leathered. So you're not fighting any of these top promotions unless you're a good fighter.
No, totally.
But it's just, there's obviously I could tell you from sparring and fighting at different levels in amateur boxing that there's levels to this shit. There's
levels to everything, isn't there? There always is. Even like, do you know what I mean?
So perfect example is, it's relatable to me, and it's not fighting related. So that medal is for the Ring of Steel Sky Race in Kinlochleven. Unbelievably hard race. I'm not built for endurance running. I took 9 hours to finish that race. Killian Jornet, the Spanish guy who is incredible, posts some of the best pictures on Instagram. If you have never heard of him, go watch him, look at his videos. Some of his running ridges videos incredible. He done that race. Took me 9 hours. He done it in just over 3.
Yeah.
like if I took all of the steroids in the world and trained for 1,000 years, I would never get near that. That's just a different species of human.
I know it is.
Do you actually know who he is? Do you know who Killian is?
No, not familiar with him at all.
Oh, man. He's got I'll send you a link at some point. He done the he basically wanted to climb Everest, was one of these things he wanted to do. So he had a list of things that he wanted to win as a runner. He grew up in the Pyrenees,
right?
And he was just a mountain goat. Basically, he just ran hills all his entire life. So he had a list of things to do that he wanted to win. And I think he had won them all by the time he was 22. He won them, set like records. So he wanted to climb Everest, but then in his own way, he didn't want to do it like just climb Everest. He wanted to do it as a record. So he went up. There's a documentary for it. It's amazing. So he climbed it, broke the record. So it was solo ascent of Everest without oxygen.
Right.
So he went up, he'd done it, broke the record. When he was getting close to it, he had his GoPro and he was saying he felt terrible. And when his team was all at base camp, and they're watching him, and they're looking out for him through like a telescope, whatever it is, or binocular, whatever they go, and they're looking for him, and they can't see him, and they were getting really worried. So time's gone past, and they've not seen him. They can't hear, and they're starting to get genuinely panicking, like, what's happened to him? But people said they'd seen him, so eventually he comes sorting him down, comes back down, like, I broke the record, and he's like, yeah, but I had diarrhea. I think I can go faster. So he chilled out at base camp for a few days, went back up and beat his own record. You're like, like an unbelievable athlete, like phenomenal.
But as you say, that's just one of those things where no matter how much you do, you're never beating that. Because if he was born in the Pyrenees, you assume he's lived literally born and lived his entire life at elevation.
Yeah.
His parents will have lived at elevation that'll pass that on. It's like the Kenyans and stuff that are great at that middle long distance running, because Kenya's quite a high country overall. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? A lot of it's above level, and they just have that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, genetically, obviously genetics. If you've got terrible genetics, you're not going to be good at anything. So, it makes you like with. It's always funny. It always makes me laugh when you talk about genetics. You think about Karelin, and they called him the experiment.
The experiment. I wonder why they called him the experiment.
It makes you wonder. It makes you wonder because his parents are really. And to be fair, have you ever seen the Klitschko brothers, mum and dad?
Yes. Well, I've seen photos of them, yeah.
Tiny little people. Tiny little people. And then you've got two brothers that are 6'6" and 6'7", absolutely jacked, and you're going, come from the same Soviet era, and you're going, what were they doing?
Having said, photos of Karelin are terrifying at how jacked he was.
Yeah.
Like lifting up 260-pound humans that are trying to lie flat on the mat, like a total dead weight, just suplex, clean suplex.
They come from the same period, the same Soviet era. So
yeah.
Was there some genetic defying going? I don't know.
The record was, there's a really good book that I read a couple of years back called Faust's Gold, and it's all about the East German doping program that ran. And some of the horrific things, like they would impregnate their female athletes, like essentially like a in vitro, like an IVF type thing. Get them pregnant, let them go to, I think it was like 4 or 5, and then abort the fetus, because what they worked out is that in the short, there's like a 6 or 8 week window where just after a woman's given birth or lost a child, there's a massive upsurge in hormone levels as your body readjusts. And what these scientists worked out is if they impregnated these young female athletes, essentially got them pregnant, whichever way you want to cut it, aborted the fetuses at the window between going into competition, and they worked out the perfect, like this golden window of about 48 to 72 hours. And that was literally what they were doing to these young girls, getting them pregnant 2 or 3 times over the course of their career. Stuff like that. And then like they had there's a famous case where it was a female shot putter and they were giving her vitamins. They told her it was vitamins that they were giving her. And by the time she finished competition, she had started to grow external testicles because they'd given her that much testosterone.
What the fuck?
The Soviets were
It's after World War II. That's like some Joseph Mengele stuff where they were doing some horrendous things to people. Like this is quite funny. It's quite topical though. Before coronavirus, when people were shouting, calling everybody a Nazi. You're a Nazi if you like this. You're a Nazi if you do that. And I mean, if you want to know what a Nazi is, I mean, go and read some stuff about what Joseph Mengele was doing, and that's, I mean, evil. I mean, just unbelievable evil. The things that they were doing. That's.
But you want to know that, that like talking about the Soviet and the East German programs of like the 70s and 80s. A lot of Nazi scientists just disappeared. Like Operation Paperclip brought them all across America.
Most of them went to America.
Remember that Mengele went to Argentina. Have you ever seen I don't even know if it's a conspiracy at this point, but there's a village in Argentina that they reckon Mengele escaped to. And what was that?
Bariloche, was it not?
The one with all the twins?
Oh no, that was no, that's that one, I think. But there's another one. I think it was it Gorbals that went there? I can't remember. No, there's another one. I don't think the place where they had all the twins, was that not Peru?
Maybe it was Peru.
It was somewhere in South America.
South America. And the last instances of twins. Mengele did loads of research on twins. Soviets in the East German definitely used Nazi scientists at some point. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that's conspiracy.
The Soviets got some of them, but America got most of them. Operation Paperclip. So I mean, everybody. I don't know if everybody knows, but Werner von Braun, who was the lead Nazi rocket scientist, put Neil Armstrong on the moon.
Yeah,
essentially, which is insane. But South America, that whole thing is something. It's one of those, like I said before, I love a conspiracy theory. A lot of it's nonsense, but
and dive in.
He's in
Okay.
this. Admiral Blood. You know
Yeah.
that one?
I've read a lot about Bird, although
He went with like a lot of men, a lot of ships to Antarctica, done some research, and they left. After losing men and planes, they left quickly. That's an interesting topic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't even know where I'm going now. I'm just kind of... So Isle of Arm Blonde is going down quite nicely.
Too well. I forgot it was going too well. We should just do that. We should just keep a conspiracy.
What's your thoughts on what we do? Do you have some goals of what we're going to do with this? I've spoken to a couple of people. When you realise you've got quite a few cool friends, and you go, should we get some guys on? Should we have some people talking? Should we?
I think if folk want to come on and talk shit with us for an hour and a half, I don't see why we would discourage that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, totally. We can see if anyone wants to, if anyone's watching and fancies jumping in, again, comment below, hit the like button and comment below. Yeah, let's get some people on if people are interested. I'm sure there will be folk who'll be more than happy to come and talk.
Nothing else. It keeps us interested. And gives us something to think about whilst we're on lockdown.
Totally. And when no one's got anything else.
Nothing else to talk about. Nothing. I think we should speak to a couple of people. We've got a couple of cool friends that would probably come on. Well, a couple that I've already said would like to come on. So we'll see. I know you've got a couple of people that maybe want to come on and talk. Your cool people, good athletes. I think it doesn't even have to be anybody that's an athlete. It can be anybody.
Aye, anyone that wants to come.
From business or investors or anybody. Just people who are cool to talk to.
Aye, definitely. I definitely think we can look at that as an option. We'll keep this going anyway, even if no one's watching apart from me and you. We're going to keep it going and just talk away. Whatever happens.
Cool. Should we wrap it up for now?
Let's do it. I mean, that's been an hour and a half. In fact, nearly 2 hours. Yeah, it's been 2 hours nearly. In the 2 bits. Technical issues at the start. An hour and a half on this recording. There was about 10 minutes on the other one. So,
cool.
Yeah, let's call it quits, man. It was good again to catch up virtually.
Cool. Well, I'll speak to you later on, and we'll talk maybe Sunday or something.
No worries, man. Episode 2 in the can. See you later.
Catch you later.